Hey everyone, welcome to our Flourishing Heart podcast. So excited for this. And today we're joined by Tanya Frazier, which is such an honor. Tanya and I have been friends for a while now. We studied at Bible college together. And I am just such a big fan of Tanya. So as you can see, we are doing this over Zoom because we're in lockdown in Sydney, but also we don't live in the same city anymore. So we're now doing this over Zoom. But I'm so excited for you to hear a little bit more from Tanya. If you don't know, she did the front cover of the WILLOW magazine and is also doing the front cover of our next issue. Which is incredible. She's such an amazing artist. And Tans also wrote 2 articles for WILLOW. She wrote an article on healthy friendships and also an article on travel, which is amazing. So Tans has just been the biggest blessing and encouragement in my life. So Tans, do you want to share a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do?
Sure. And we're fangirling or fanning, however it goes, because I'm a big fan of Tess too. She's doing some amazing things through Flourishing Heart, and it's a real honour for me to be a part of it, to contribute and to decorate the magazines. But yeah, so I've actually been an artist for 20 years and have my own art business. But I've added on to that a new fun venture, which I'm a body shop at home consultant. So I get to play around with beauty products and meet new people. So I'm really loving that. And where I'm from, well, I was born actually in the centre of Sydney, but spent a lot of time in Orange, New South Wales. But because of travelling, actually, because I tried to live in France, that displaced me from the normal house and job and car and everything that I had. And so I travel a fair bit around New South Wales and overseas. So currently on the mid-north coast of New South Wales.
That's so cool. Yeah, and if you want to see more of Tanya's incredible paintings, if you're watching this video, you can see one of her paintings behind her.
Yes.
But she also sells her paintings on www.artbytanya.com.au. Now, Tans, you wrote an article in the magazine on your top travel tips.
Yes.
I know that you love to travel, and I love watching your eyes light up when you talk about travel or get excited for your next trip.
I know, I've got a bit of gypsy in me, I think.
Oh, absolutely. What would be your favorite place to travel and why?
Well, Giverny, France is a big one. So it really got me on the travel journey and the travel bug, because that's been a lifetime love. And I basically fell in love with a painting of Claude Monet, the famous Impressionist artist. And he lived and made an incredible garden and water pond for people to, originally it was just his home. And he did a whole series of paintings in the gardens. So I just fell in love with his water lily paintings, and then fell in love with, I was at the same time falling in love with the French language. Then I discovered the food, and that was kind of it. So Giverny has been a real passion, and anything French.
Amazing.
But I'd kind of need to add in a close second.
Oh yeah.
All three. There's 3.
There's
Mesa
3.
Antero in Colorado, in the Rocky Mountains, where I got to like sit in hot springs. That, and then the Yorkshire Dales up in the moors at the top of England, in northern Yorkshire region. incredible. So I spent 3 months each in those last two. So
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Such very different landscapes, hey?
Yeah. And I love cold weather. So yeah.
Not like me.
No.
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Do you speak French, Tons?
I do, and that's one of my tips actually, is to
Right.
learn how to be polite in the language of wherever you're going. Don't
So
assume people
helpful.
can speak it. So I have to kick it back in when I'm traveling. So I'll often put CDs in the car so that when I'm, planning months ahead, I'm listening and my ear kicks into the language that I'm going to.
Yeah,
And
smart.
I did that when I went to Italy, and I tried doing that for Finland. That was pretty hard.
Wow.
But yeah,
Finish.
I make sure that I can say please, thank you, ask for a few things. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
important.
love that. Do you know
Yeah.
how to say anything in Finnish?
No, because they have something like, I don't know, I can't remember now, but something like 50 vowels and consonants, and the
Oh my
sounds I
gosh.
couldn't even just get my head around. So thankfully, when I was there, it was winter time, and we had a chauffeur taking us on this tour because it was just two of us, and he spoke a bit of English, which was really good.
Ah, that's good. Help you get by. What
Yeah.
about French? What is there a sentence you can say in French?
Oh, now you're putting me on the spot. Okay.
Yeah.
Bonjour, je suis Tanya. Je suis une artiste impressionniste et j'adore Claude Monet. So, hi,
Wow.
I'm Tanya. I'm an artist. I'm impressionist. I love Claude Monet, the impressionist artist. So, yeah.
Amazing. Well done. I think I picked that up.
Thanks.
I learned
Cool.
French in high school.
Yeah, me too. And that's where it all started.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fun. So fun. Well, what would you say is the best thing about traveling?
Well, kind of a flow on from what we're just sort of saying, really. It's actually experiencing new cultures, food, and
Mm.
people. Like really immersing yourself in history and or majestic mountains. So that's why I loved Colorado.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
literally was living in the Rocky Mountains. And for
Wow.
3 days, I couldn't speak. I would just walk outside because from the kitchen we could see 14,000 footers, I think they call them. So we were actually higher than Mount Kosciuszko in Australia, where we lived in the house,
Yeah.
but we were looking at like massive mountains in front. So I was just like,
Wow.
wow. Like
Stunning.
I had no words. And I think that's what's great about travel, is because when you get immersed in it, you feel small, but you feel inspired at the same time. And
Yeah.
so when I was at Colorado, it was like, you cannot deny there is a God when you're looking at a mountain or like a whole mountain range like that. You just
Crazy.
can't.
Yeah.
You realize how small you are, how small your problems are, and just how big God is.
Absolutely. Was it the middle of winter when you were there?
It was March through to June. So I saw the end of winter and
Yeah.
the beginning of spring. So it was a mountain home, and I was dog sitting.
Cute.
And I had to be ready for bears and mountain cats and all sorts
Oh
of
my
things.
goodness.
But I got to see on the aspen trees all the tiny leaves coming out, and it's like this bright fluorescent greens and yellows, and so you go from this white landscape to this bursts of
Wow.
color. And yeah, it was stunning.
That's stunning. Making me want to go
Yeah.
now. Well, obviously I am a big believer in finding God in everything.
Yeah.
And I know you just mentioned it's hard to not see that there is a God when you look
Yes.
at
I
mountains
know.
so incredible and so stunning as that. I guess I was going to ask, like, God and travel, how do they work together, and how can you honor God in your travels?
Sure. Um, I think they work together really well. So, what I've noticed in people, as you know, I share my passion for France
Mm,
and, you know, going there and living there and everything that it all encompassed for me. I noticed there's similar people. So, at the time when I was striving to move to France and, you know, working out what I needed to do, there was someone else at the same time trying to move to Uganda.
yeah,
And
well,
when we talk about it, we realize that, like, from a teenage year, our countries that we have a tendency towards are threaded through our life and they pop
mm,
up. And so
wow,
that's how I see God in it. I see that He plants a seed in us in an early age for places that are special to us and
mm,
that we have a special purpose for.
hmm,
And then He works inspiration into there. And so to actually honor Him, we need to follow the prompts, you know, to pray for that place. So your prayer maps in the
amazing.
Flourishing Heart, you know, is one of them. We need to go there. If God is actually pressing on
Mm,
our hearts to actually go there, we need to go there and honor that and not just go, oh, well, I'm this age. I'm either too old or I'm too young or I can't do that. No, we've got to actually honor that prompt.
yeah, definitely.
Um, and then to actually meet the people and to carry His peace and His presence there.
Hmm,
And without even knowing it, in Claude Monet's gardens, the first time that I was there, which was 2004, so I actually wasn't a Christian at that point. I
yeah,
didn't
right.
know, like, you can actually sense Claude Monet there. You could sense
Hmm,
his presence. But now that I've come to know God, I didn't actually realize that God was there first with me. And I
wow.
think that's where I first encountered God
Hmm,
without knowing it, you know.
yeah,
So
amazing.
it's up to us to carry Him with us wherever we go.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's so cool. I've never thought about, yeah, the countries that you've been drawn to, like, even
Yeah,
as a child. Um,
yes,
yeah, like, even as I think back to my childhood, like, there are countries that I've always been drawn to,
that's
but
right.
hadn't
Like
necessarily
Haiti.
made, yeah, exactly, like
Yeah,
Haiti, but even other countries that I hadn't necessarily made the connection that maybe that was the Lord that had put it in my
yeah,
heart at that young age.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I love how He works, you know.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
And tons, I love how you have combined your art and your travel, two
yes,
things obviously that you're very passionate about.
yeah.
So what does that look like for you, combining those two things?
So again, like bringing God into things. So I can actually see just how much He blessed me when I actually stepped out and was brave and, you know,
Mm,
explored living in France and staying long term. So all up, I think in in different trips because I've only ever gone on a Schengen visa. I've stayed 13 months in Giverny. Um,
amazing.
and so initially, well, I went there as an artist and already as a teaching artist. So I've been able to paint in famous artists' homes. Was a finalist in an exhibition at Pierre Bonnard's house. So my
Wow.
painting, which I had to paint on the day, and it was like a heat wave. Had to paint it, start it and paint it and finish it all in one day.
Oh my
for the
gosh.
selection of this exhibition. So I was part of a finalist of 10, the famous Paris museum that was involved in it. And so for me, it was just like I became a finalist in the 10, got hung in the house. And, you know, like that's incredible in itself.
Incredible.
And
yeah.
when famous artists used to visit Claude Monet, they stayed at a place called Hotel Bordy. And there's still the original studio in the back of the property where Auguste Renoir and Alfred Sisley and all the Impressionist artists at the time used to stay, and they'd paint in this studio. And I actually had permission to paint in the studio, even though it's set up like a special display. So, you know, there's like really godly blessed moments in there that, you know, and I got to take a group of Australian artists and take them into the gardens and share the passion and teach them and have special time there. So like there's so many incredible things that you know could only have happened through the favor of God, because I've had exhibitions in both Giverny and Paris, and like, you know, I grew up in southwest Sydney and in Orange, and not formally trained or anything like that, but just there's favor when we carry God with us, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say that most of your paintings are inspired by your travels?
By God and by nature, I think. But also like the one behind me, teacups and flowers and stuff. So I love that sort of thing as well. But I really like painting flowers and trees and landscapes and sceneries.
Yeah,
so,
amazing.
And I bring out the godly colours that I can see in landscape that other people can't.
Yeah.
So I can still, I don't have to paint God in them. Sometimes I do, but I just show them what I can see through God's eyes.
I love that. I was just about to say, like, even in your paintings, I can see like the Lord in them. And yeah, I love, like, I mean, even the way that you've done like the magazine covers, and in your other paintings, I love that you rely on the Lord for what you're painting, and you always ask, like, what am I doing next? Like, should I do a stroke here? Like, I think that's really incredible, because I can definitely tell the Lord's hand has been on you in your paintings.
That's actually a new skill, for lack of words, because I've learnt to actually bring my art under God, under that relationship. So that's really a recent addition, especially since studying at college, doing visual arts there. We should plug C3 College. It was amazing.
That's it. Go to C3 College. Amazing. Tons, what is your worst or most embarrassing travel story?
Oh, you'll laugh at this. And I'll probably blush crazily. Okay, so I was on a bus trip from I must have caught the bus from Giverny or England. I think it was actually England to Paris. Yeah, arriving back in Paris. And really good looking guy on the bus.
Okay.
And really nice, friendly guy. And you know how when you sort of, you know that you've been traveling with people and you're not going to see them again, and you just sort of sometimes have that last little look over your shoulder and say,
oh no, I see where this is going.
Wow. Stepping out of the bus, I just thought I'd have that last little glance because he was behind me, not realizing that the bus driver had parked us on a speed hump.
Oh, no.
So when I get out of the door and I take a first step or so and go round the door, I fall face first and breast first into the speed hub. So I made a great impression. It was really lovely. It helped me up, but you know.
That is hilarious.
I know.
Wow. I remember when I was in Spain, I was staying in a hostel in Barcelona with my friend, and my friend's name is Mary. And we were staying in this, I think there was like 16 girls in one room. And
Wow.
if you don't know, I sleep talk and sleepwalk. And I, in the middle of the night, I actually vaguely remember this. Someone had walked in the middle of the night, maybe like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, had like just arrived and were in our room. And obviously there was one spare bed, but I obviously must have been dreaming. And I sat up in my bed, and my friend Mary was in the bed next to me, but I sat up, and for some reason it was pitch black. For some reason I thought this was Mary, my friend that had just walked in the door.
Oh.
And so this girl is like trying to find her bed. And I still remember this. I don't know why, but for some reason I sat up and I began to like tap the mattress next to me, like really loudly. And I was like, "Oi, hey, Mary, your bed's over here. Hey, Mary." And eventually I just went back to sleep. But then the next morning, all of the girls in my room were laughing about how this girl had come in the middle of the night and was trying to find her bed, and it was just like so confused because she thought her bed was somewhere, but someone was telling her that it was somewhere else. And I was like, oh,
I love it.
Funny you say that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go traveling again.
Do you think it'll happen?
I hope so, eh? I hope so.
I hope so.
And yeah, I guess I'll try not to fall over a speed bump.
Yeah. Or just time that last glance a bit better.
Yeah. That's true. I'll keep that in mind. Well, thank you so much, Tons, for joining me today.
You're welcome.
And sharing your wisdom and insight.
Thank you.
If you haven't purchased your copy of the Flourishing Heart magazine yet, make sure you do. You'll find Tanya's top tips, Tanya's top travel tips, and many more,
and other tongue twisters.
And other tongue twisters, that's it. And many other inspiring articles along the way. So make sure you grab your copy of that, and we will catch you all really soon.
Fantastic.
Bye.
Bye.